Our global affairs analyst, Dr. Jide Ojo, joins me for more perspectives on Nigeria's participation at the G20 summit and other issues. It's good to have you join us on the news tonight.
My pleasure. Good evening, Nigerians.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Some persons would say we should already just call it the G21, since the AU can represent a continent that's home to the world's largest free trade area. Some will say that this is an acknowledgement, of a continent that has 1 billion people. But the question I would like to ask is, how can Africa, benefit from the increased engagement and collaboration?
Well, as you rightly know, no country is an island, and unfortunately, I think it's only South Africa that is member of G20 as we speak. So definitely about 9 of them were invited by President Modi. Now other countries apart from the G20 were invited to participate. And of course, as you know, the world has become a global village, and issues that affect countries of international dimension. So it's a good thing that Nigeria is playing its pivotal role in international world affairs. Over the years, particularly during the military rule, Nigeria was like a pariah nation. But in the last 24 years, successive administration has embraced global participation, attending several meetings, whether it's African, China, African, Russia, or G20, or whatever name it's called, meeting at both bilateral and multilateral level. And the gains of this are very immense. Apart from diplomatic gains, there are also economic gains, there are cultural gains, there are sports gains, there are educational gains, there are military gains that are, fallout of some of these meets. And that's why Nigeria should be applauded, particularly President Tinubu should be lauded for participating in this kind of summit.
Yeah, as against the disjointed foreign policies of the 54 countries in Africa, you'd say, and the number of coups that the continent has recorded in the last 1 year, what role would you say that Africa will play in the global economy? Or do you think this military coups that we're experiencing wouldn't affect us on the global stage?
Well, I think everybody has to answer their father's name. Of course, when there are coups, there are suspensions, economic sanctions, like the one placed on Sudan, on Mali, on Burkina Faso, recently on Gabon and Niger Republic. That is the natural consequence of having military coup. But you don't deal with a whole continent as a bloc, particularly when it's not on the African Union pedestal that you are having this interface. So I'm looking more at, yes, this military coup brought us negatively on the African continent. But it's not only in Africa that we have coups. There are also coup d'etat in other parts of the world. In Myanmar, it has happened. In other South Asia, South America, we have had military coups in the past. So that should not be the basis on which the global community will relate with Africa as a continent. But even if they want to do that, you need to isolate those countries, and they are in the minority. We have 54 countries in Africa. So if only about 5 or 6 of them have had democratic reversals, in which case the military have taken over and there have been sanctions placed on them, then you can't use that as a basis for shunning or neglecting or ostracizing the entire continent. So coming back to Nigeria, I think Nigeria, with our democratic credentials and deepening of democracy over the last 24 years, we are playing our pride. We are having a chair at the table at many of these summits, and it is good for our image, both public and private image.
Global Affairs Analyst Dr. Jide Ojo, thank you so much for joining us on TVC News at 10.
It's a pleasure.